everybody. Pardon me, I had to adjust my mic there. And welcome, Fright fans, to Frights of Fandom, the horrified version of Flights of Fandom, our regular series here on Manapot Studios. I am, as always, your ghost with the most. Zach, otherwise known as Great Zamino. I use he, him pronouns. I'm also probably clinically cheesy to the point where, you know, was it like, this is probably like Velveeta somewhere in here. Anyhow, I am pleased to say that we are running a control flight using the GUMSHOE system by Robin D. Laws of Pelgrane Press. And in order to realize this flight and to bring to life some fantastically kind of kooky characters who are on the short end of the horror stick here, I have a fantastic cast assembled with me tonight. So starting on the left side of the overlay, David, if you'd like to go ahead and give your introduction.
Hey everybody, David here, he, him. I'm a graphic designer, an illustrator, and a game designer. You can check out my games over at dbb-8.itch.io. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at dbrunelbrutman. And I, as I have been for the past couple of weeks, will be playing Dr. Myron Katz, a parageology expert for the Federal Bureau of Control.
Excellent. Moving down the overlay, Marissa, if you'd like to introduce your character to us, or introduce yourself, I should say.
Yes. Well, I will do both. Hello, everyone. My name is Marissa, she, her pronouns, and you can find me under the handle Critical Kitten with various punctuation and hyphenation on Twitter, Instagram, etc. And I am playing Dr. Vivian Bancroft, who is an applied metaphysician, experimental philosopher, astronaut liaison, head of the astral exhibition team within the parapsychology division of the research sector of the Federal Bureau of Control, and also ex-girlfriend of the aforementioned Dr. Myron Katz.
Excellent.
Whoops.
Whoops. Over on the right side of the overlay, Hopper, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Well, hi there. That'd be me. I'm Hopper. Sorry about that. I use they, them pronouns, and I am your resident dumpster fire. Tonight I will be playing Jamie Barnett, the unpaid intern who has a gun.
This tracks, yes.
So Jamie is the twin sibling of Jane, and he is a little bit of a space case. He's a little bit of a weirdo. He doesn't really marches to his own, like, really intense dubstep beat that nobody else can hear, and it comes through at times, I think, but despite all that, he's hyper competent. Like sometimes, like just being in a situation and knowing how to move around this weird space, he seems real comfortable with all this weird shenanigans.
Excellent. And finally, rounding out this misfit crew, Puja, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I am Puja, and I am back tonight playing Jane Barnett, the twin of Jamie, and I guess our team sort of normal person thrown into this, which means possibly the one most likely to lose her shit. But last we saw Jane, she was... The board had talked to her, and she was in a mild panic. By a mild, I mean giant panic. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where all that goes. Both of our pronouns are she, her.
Excellent. So guys, without further ado, let us get started. But before we do, let's so not what I just said. Let's go ahead and put on some music, and we can talk about what transpired last week. So, as kind of things unfolded last week, we found our Federal Bureau of Control agents just recovering from a expedition into the field from where they kind of happened upon an altered world event that was the result of an object of power being found in Markham, New York, upstate near the Catskills. Essentially, this object of power was a Victorian dollhouse, and one that seemed to be kind of basically reeking of paranatural energy, basically kind of forcing these kind of almost like doll or mannequin-like forms and figures to essentially defend it from the Federal Bureau of Control rangers that had gone with and escorted our team of researchers and interns to acquire it. So after a bit of a scuffle between what seemed to be these sort of kind of porcelain simulacra of people whose touch managed to basically kind of porcelainify the skin of those that came into unfortunate contact with these creatures, you were not only successful in quelling this object of power in such a way that the porcelain guardians kind of backed off, you were also able to basically abscond with it from the site after calling in additional evac teams to secure the object of power. So you brought this object of power back to the oldest house in New York City, where the Federal Bureau of Control headquarters is located. The oldest house, of course, being the kind of trans-dimensional, very strangely propertied headquarters of the FBC. So after a few kind of additional bits of research, a few days of downtime and recovery, you happened upon a very strange sight, which was that the containment team of the Federal Bureau of Control was making to remove the dollhouse from its current whereabouts in the research lab of Dr. Bancroft, as well as Dr. Katz, and instead was being moved into the Panopticon by the supervisor, the containment supervisor, Frederick Langston. So not too long after, in fact, one might even say pretty much immediately after, things went to hell in the oldest house, and an incursion was begun by a extra paranatural set of entities or entity or gestalt that appears to have taken over the bodies of several FBC rangers. But before that, not only did you get a warning of this from the board, Jamie, but Dr. Bancroft, you were contacted by ostensibly Amelia Paulo, one of the family members inside of the Markham House residence where you found the dollhouse, but could find no evidence of the either the parents or the Amelia Paulo, the child of in question of this residence. So this kind of this creature that basically looked like a porcelain doll contacted you through the Threshold Kids children's program television that oddly runs at weird times throughout the Federal Bureau of Control in the oldest house, and made a direct plea to you to be careful, because the ones that would extinguish your song were coming. And it would later become apparent to all of us that are outside of this narrative that the incursion that is currently overtaking the oldest house is that of the Hiss, a paranatural entity of great force and terrible insidiousness. And when last we left our agents, you guys had managed to find your way to the containment sector to follow up on your investigation for why the dollhouse was being removed. And as the Hiss descended upon this sector, a red glow kind of basically forcing the house to shift in a claustrophobic fashion, all of you watched as several HRA equipped rangers were beset by another team of seemingly possessed and basically kind of mutated rangers themselves, all of whom were reciting this horrifying kind of atonal, very surreal kind of Dadaist-like poem. And it's in this moment with Jane caught between the kind of crossfire here, as well as the other three agents kind of looking on from afar, that we reopen the scene. And so as we kind of get into that moment, I'm gonna play a little bit more intense music. Maybe a little bit too intense there. Let's try this. Okay. So Jane, you are seeing these two sets of rangers exchanging gunfire. The ones that are creepily reciting this poem seem to be suffused with this strange red glow as you watch. I will say that you are in the crossfire. You are not necessarily being targeted or shot at this point, but things are looking tense. So I'm going to give you the first action. I believe you also have the highest initiative, kind of like scuffling or shooting score of your compatriots. Am I right?
We're all muted.
The first thing Jade wants to know is, I had mentioned that she had been looking for a HRA in the office. Did she find one?
I will tell you this. I would like this to be a roll rather than a investigative ability, as much as I would like that. Why don't you give me, let me see what general abilities you can use here.
I mean, my vote is preparedness.
Yeah, let's say preparedness.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that I have a difficulty in mind here. Spend however many points of preparedness you would like from your pool.
Okay. I would like to use 2.
Okay.
Which is fine because I rolled a 4 on the die.
Okay. You do manage to find an HRA and strap it in, switching on the mechanism just as you hear the gunfire behind you.
Okay. Jade is going to flatten out on the ground and probably crawl to take cover so that she can watch to see what's happening. I mean, she has no weapon in a firefight. Like, she didn't even bring a knife. Like, she's just, unlike her brother, she does not have a gun. So she's just like, she's gonna take cover and wait for other people to come in. I think she'd been texting Jane. Sorry, what'd you say, Katz?
Nothing important. Please continue.
She had texted Jamie what floor they were on. So she's going to text again and say, firefight going down, be careful.
Okay. I will make you a roll infiltration, but not right now. So the rest of you, I think you're not far away from this scene. I will say, however, as you guys manage to get onto the floor of the containment sector on the same kind of level, you watch as the passageway that is behind you undergoes a house shift, basically cutting off your exit. What does everybody do as soon as you hear the gunfire?
Is that guns? Are they? Is somebody shooting? We can't see anything from our vantage point, right?
Well, let me double check. You guys came in not too far away from the sector elevator. So I think that you would not have been in the transit corridor. You would have been coming up from central containment. And I believe at this point you are near security, having passed through logistics. So I will say this, as you are kind of walking through security on the through the very long kind of doors of the fire break, as they are beginning to close, you are seeing a firefight going on, and running the opposite direction from it, you see Frederick Langston and a team of HRA equipped security guards going, go, let's go. Everybody out, let's move.
Shit, what the hell is going on?
Don't look at me, all right? They're going crazy back there. We got some sort of AWE or paranatural situation. I don't know what it is. Everybody needs to hunker down.
Okay, there's and I think at this point, unless somebody else is doing something, if they're going in the opposite direction and they're saying, follow us, this is an emergency, like Katz is going to go with them and continue talking as we're going back in the other direction.
Jamie just kind of raises his hand, and it's just like, Janie says there's a firefight up ahead. Did you describe who was fighting?
Yeah, sorry. Did I cut anybody off?
I don't think like Jane will describe what she sees, but she doesn't know who's whom.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I will say this, as far as you can tell, Jane, you are seeing basically two different squads of rangers attacking each other. One group is very clearly kind of enshrouded in this kind of like red fluorescent light. So you can relay that information.
But freaky red people.
Yeah. I will also say that you see the fire break closing. You could probably open it by getting closer to it. I think with your knowledge of kind of how the oldest house works, you could probably reopen it by like waiting there. But it would open you up to gunfire or to being targeted.
Okay. What do you mean by what's the fire break again?
So a fire break is essentially this long corridor that separates very kind of like potently paranatural parts of the oldest house from other kind of like more mundane parts. And what essentially it is it's like basically it's functionally like an airlock. Essentially one gigantic slab of concrete goes down, the other one goes down, and only after one is raised completely and you pass through that threshold does it lower and the other one opens. So basically, you are watching as you are about to see a very long corridor as well as about 8 solid feet of concrete split between 2 walls closing.
What are the non-red people doing?
They are returning fire.
But they're not trying to leave.
They are not trying to leave. You hear one of them. I think one of you recognizes. I think that you recognize the voice of Captain O'Donnell, which is just like, they're trying to get to the altered items. Open fire! Open fire!
And the altered item is where?
You watched not too long ago in the previous episode where basically the dollhouse vanished in a rift suffused with red light.
Okay. I think Jane's frozen in action because she doesn't want to get shot at. She's an intern. She doesn't get paid enough to get shot at.
I don't get paid. Wait, you're getting paid?
At all. She doesn't get paid at all.
I will tell you this. You will be able to do investigative work while you're kind of like observing the situation. But in the meantime, that's kind of like how the situation has unfolded.
Yeah.
You might even be able to find like a back passage away from this stuff. You would just have to infiltrate successfully. But before we get to that, I want to make sure we're keeping in tabs on what everybody else is doing. So Dr. Katz is moving into the security office that basically is the eyes that watch over the panopticon. What are the rest of you?
And they're coming from the panopticon, right?
Yeah, the firefight is in the panopticon.
Okay, you're telling me there's a goddamn AWE in the panopticon?
And I think that Frederick just says, look, I'm not the brains here, okay? I just watch over and make sure the fridge doesn't eat the next guard, okay? I don't know what's going on.
Okay. It sounds like a serious situation. Are you going to call it in or what?
Yeah, and as you are saying that, O'Donnell's got his, like, has punched what was it? The radio center that is at the heart of this office, and you just hear him say, I need as many rangers as can get up to the Panopticon stat. And then, like, from a return, you just hear from a return kind of redress on the radio, you just say, negative. We are undertaking heavy fire in every sector. We're on your own for the time being. We'll try to send a team as soon as possible.
Every
What?
sector.
The hell is going on? Yeah, and Katz, like, Vivian, as you say, every sector, you know, Katz, like, makes eye contact with you in this just, what the fuck kind of look.
I think like Vivian, for the first time, probably in a very long time, if ever, looks completely lost. Like she's used to commanding situations and like knowing exactly who to direct and how to direct people. But this is out of her depth. She's never seen anything like this before.
And I think as you guys are kind of having this moment, you hear another voice chime in on the radio. That says, an earworm is a tune. You can't
stop humming in a dream. Baby, 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 yeah, just plastic.
You know, and it's incredibly unnerving, at which point you hear, what was it? Kill that line! Whatever you do, kill that line!
Okay, we need to go into lockdown protocols here. We need to get to a shelter immediately.
At which point, like, Frederick looks at all of you. His comb over is just completely all over his face, like these long strands, just messed in one way or the other. And he's just saying, look, shelter in place. This is going to be the safest place in this sector right now.
Oh, well, I don't get paid enough for this, and I'm going to go grab my sister.
Yeah, go ahead.
Y'all have fun.
Is there a safe room in here, Mr. Langston?
And
This is the safe room.
and I think Langston was about to say that to you, and then just hears Dr. Bancroft and goes,
Jamie, are you leaving, or have you already left while we're kind of arguing?
Oh, Jamie, I think Jamie
status?
quietly said that, and when nobody really listened to him, he was just like, he said it like a little bit too quietly while everybody else was freaking out, but is like too uncomfortable to actually speak up. So and so then he's just like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna go then. And with his mad he's got some if you're familiar with the Wheel of Time, gray man energy. It's like people just slip, your eyes just slip past him. He's just very good at being like an object in the background. And I think he's just kind of, what's the situation? How hard is it to leave this room, Zach?
It is, I will say this, it is with your kind of preternatural kind of inconspicuousness, you are easily able to take advantage of the chaos here. In fact, I think that there is a window that overlooks the fire break. And I think Dr. Katz and Dr. Bancroft, you see Jamie beginning to approach that corridor, unless you wish to take an alternative path.
May I make a request? Is there any gear that is just lurking around that people might have set down on surfaces or left unattended?
Roll preparedness for me. I have a difficulty in mind.
My brain was trying to. I was just like, wait, oh God, what game are we playing? Okay,
it is a hazard with our profession.
I'm gonna spend a point of preparedness, That'll be a 5 total.
Okay, that's what you
At
needed.
that point.
So yeah, I will say, what are you looking to pick up?
Anything useful, anything like communications equipment,
Second
safety
gun?
equipment, more gun.
Yeah, I will say
Like
that
if one of the
Double
rangers
gun?
if one of the rangers like left a rifle or something, Jamie would just be like, all right, well,
uh, so
Gun for me.
I will say this is you do not spot a rifle, but I will say this: you do not spot a rifle. You do manage to get a walkie, but the other thing that you managed to take off the belt of a completely oblivious ranger is a fucking grenade.
so I think I think the way that plays out is Jamie just kind of wanders through and just kind of like, sorry, pardon me, and just yoink yoink. I do have 10 points in filch.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like Jamie's got sticky fingers.
I will say this: filch is an investigative ability, right?
No, it's a general ability. I also have yeah, that's pretty much I have that's the most relevant thing here.
Well, I will tell you
I
this.
also know how to speak Latin, if that comes in handy.
I will tell you this: if you would like to get your hands on a rifle, you may make me a filch roll. I won't tell you what the difficulty is, but you once again may.
2 points.
You're gonna spend 2 points. Okay, make that roll.
That's a 1 on the dice, so it's 3 total.
I think that I think you move to take a rifle, and then like you just feel like it's almost like reflexively, still not aware of you. The ranger just hugs his arm that much tighter to him.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Jamie's used to this, and he's just like, well, fair enough. And just kind of like steps out of the way as somebody walks past, and then just sidles on with purpose, like walking like he looks like he has the big I'm going to get somebody coffee that's going to yell at me if it's not back in time energy. So it's like people get out of the way with this kind of both sense of pity and scorn.
Big intern coming. Okay. Yeah, so I will say this. Dr. Bancroft, Dr. Katz, you see Jamie heading out through the window. What do you guys do?
Where's the
Let's
kid?
just-
Oh, shit.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh.
Why weren't you watching him?
Why wasn't I watching him? This one was yours. I have the girl, remember? Your responsibility.
That was for the field mission. Now that we're back in headquarters, all bets are off. Everybody has to be watching everybody. And I was watching I was looking for the safe room. Shit.
I can't. Unfortunately, the responsibility for people doesn't stop when a mission is over, Myron. Well, I suspect the answer is clear. We're just going to have to go
mistakes
after
were
him.
made.
We just have to go after him. We don't have a choice. There are people.
No, you're kidding me. You're going to go out there in the middle of some sort of AWE in the Panopticon and
I'm
in
sorry.
every other sector?
Do we not have specialized expertise here? Should we not have to spend that expertise where we are called to do so? I don't know anyone better than you or I who should be in an AWE situation to help try to defuse it. Now, are you coming or not?
Shit! And he just follows you out of the room.
Okay. All right. So you begin following after Jamie. Jamie, are you headed towards the fire break, or are you trying to find an alternative way around?
Do I know an alternative way around?
You might be able to get to so one of the lower floors, or like probably find your way through some duct work or something like that. But that's very dangerous in the event of a house shift.
Yeah, but he grew up around this.
Mm-hmm.
I think, will it be faster than going through the fire break? I guess that's the important question.
It will basically, the most direct route is the fire break. It's going to take you some time to take any other way. If
Fire break it is then. It's not really about it's just whatever gets him back to Janie the fastest.
Okay. So you once again kind of approach the fire break, and that concrete barrier starts lifting up. You hear the sound of these very old mechanisms at work, but however the mechanism is slow enough that I think that Dr. Bancroft and Dr. Katz are able to catch up with you.
On our way, so right next to security is the medical wing. Can I spend a point of preparedness to try to grab some medical supplies, just like basic first aid stuff?
Absolutely. You may spend however many you like. I will set the difficulty accordingly.
Okay. I will spend, why don't we go ahead and spend 2 here?
Okay.
Right. And that is an 8.
Okay.
6 on the dice.
All right, fantastic. You managed to grab your basic medical supplies. I will say that you managed to get a couple of med kits that you can carry in either hand without being overburdened.
Gotcha. Okay, so I think then we catch up to Jamie, presumably as this mechanism is.
And so you're bringing those what in case somebody gets shot?
Well, yes.
If people start shooting at us. Listen.
Shooting's already happening, Myron. We have to be prepared for the fact that we could get shot.
Yes.
And
my preparedness is going to be leaving if somebody starts shooting at me.
There is about 6 feet of clearance in the inside of this fire break outer wall as the door opens up, or the fire break door opens up. You have to step forward to let the other one lower while the other one raises up. While you do that, Jane, I need you to make an infiltration roll to see if you can go unnoticed by these creatures and these 2 different kind of firing squads.
Let me out.
Yeah, let's give it a try.
Spend
It's a 6.
All right, you got a 6. Did you spend
Yes.
any points?
I has no points.
Okay, you had no points in infiltrate. You still rolled a 6. You beat the difficulty, so you managed to go unnoticed by these 2 firing groups. But so tell me what it is you are trying to ascertain.
Well, I'm trying to figure out if Janie is more likely. I think given that she knows her twin and she knows that he's going to come for her, she's going to try to open a way out.
Okay.
Because she's dumb and is not willing to sacrifice herself to keep these things in because she does not get paid.
I will.
But the heroic thing to do would be to trap herself in there with them. But she ain't here to be a hero. She here to live.
I will say you are outside of basically while this is going on, you are outside of one of the Panopticon's cells. You know that there are several passages that run around the Panopticon. You know that you are also, I believe, on level 7 of the Panopticon. So that means you could ascend or you could descend.
I think she's gonna. Did Jamie text back as to where he is or anything? Does she know where he is? Can she try and find my iPhone and track her brother?
Do you have what's the little RFID tracker things?
Oh God, like a tag or something?
Yes. There's a tile in Jamie's wallet or something, or around his neck. I don't know.
Honestly, probably. There's probably like a little
tags.
Like no! Did you say you have some like jailbroken crazy watch?
Yeah. Jamie's got like a crazy jailbroken like iPair watch.
Yeah, there's definitely some sort of tracking system on there. Well, essentially, because Jane wants to go to her brother. That's her primary objective here, without getting shot at, ideally.
Okay.
This is the story of two siblings and their shitty parents.
Okay. I love this. I love this so much. So
Or
yeah.
not parents.
So I will tell you this. What do you have any investigative abilities you can bring to bear here?
Let's see. Well, I mean, I don't know how research is going to work here, but the other option is electronic surveillance. If she can get into, I mean, she's in like the officey area. Like if she can get into surveillance systems to figure out where Jamie is, then that's where she's going to go.
Okay. I will tell you this. With your investigative ability, the panopticon is quite literally the eye and the nerve center of the oldest house. It's basically where all of these objects of power are and altered items are stored. And so you can kind of tap in fairly readily to surveillance. I will say this, you do manage to find a surveillance monitor, kind of like a guard station, station not far away from kind of like the chaos of the firefight. As you're kind of like moving around, you see that there are these people who are ostensibly your coworkers who are floating in the middle of the air, kind of levitating, looking up. And as they're looking up, they are reciting more and more passages of that strange poem. And basically whatever is happening seems to kind of be forcing them to defy gravity. Again, that kind of like red glow is kind of almost like dim around them, but is it's almost like ever present. Not only that, it's something that you haven't noticed before. But it's when you go to the surveillance video, you kind of spot that camera. I will say it's not actually a station that you find. You just spot a camera, and strangely enough, as you see it, it's almost like you can see through a long kind of series of kind of tubes or lenses to where you see the other three members of your team trying to find the best way to you. You know for a fact that they are on a level a couple of floors down from you as they're making their way to the panopticon.
Okay. I think Jane's gonna head towards them and text Jamie saying, "I'm coming down.
Okay.
Crazy shit happening. Floating people. Don't hold tight to HRA," kind of a thing.
Janie, as you are like texting this out, I need you to make me a stability test.
Cool.
It's going to be standard, so 4. So
All
decide
right.
how much you want to spend.
We're dumping 2 into that.
Okay.
It's okay because it's a 5 on the die, so 7 total.
Okay. As you grab the phone and you are texting and you send the message and you see it delivered, you feel. Let me ask you something. Do you use like an Android or an iPhone? Or like a Nokia brick? What do you use?
I think Janie is what one would call normcore, so it's an iPhone.
Okay, it's an iPhone. You realize that the screen is incredibly cracked, and not only that, but it feels light. And you realize this thing hasn't had a battery in it the entire time you've owned it.
What on earth?
But before you can stop yourself and kind of like really sit down and think about what that means, you send the message and you have that sense of urgency.
Yeah. She's on the move.
Okay. So what is the rest of the team doing to meet up with Jane?
Jamie's not waiting around for these.
Yeah,
very
I mean, we're
brilliant
just,
chuckle fucks.
we're just following Jamie. Like when we catch up to him, you know, we're just going with him. I mean, I think we come up to him and Katz is like, okay, kid, you gotta tell people when you leave, especially in the middle of some kind of AWE incursion, okay?
Yeah, sure.
I think, like,
thank you.
Vivian comes up right behind Katz. What? You didn't think we would come? Do you really think that we're that stupid that we'll let you and your sister walk off?
I mean, I was going to let them walk off, so just.
Well, that's because you're. This is not the time, Myron. I was not going to leave either of you behind. Now, come on, let's go get your sister.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
I will say this, in order to make speed, I am going to need you guys to give me a piggybacking action. So basically, when characters act in concert to perform a task together, they designate one to take the lead. It sounds like this is Jamie. That character makes a simple test, spending any number of his own pool points towards the task as usual. All other characters pay 1 point from their relevant pools in order to gain the benefits of the leader's action. These points are not added to the leader's die result. For every character who is unable to pay this piggybacking cost, either because he lacks pool points or does not have the ability at all, the difficulty number of the attempt increases by 2. So I will tell you this. It sounds like if you are trying to make a general kind of like fast push towards this, you can either go about this one of two ways. You can either infiltrate or you can attempt to use athletics. What would you guys like to do?
Boy. Well, I have 0 left in athletics, and I have 1 in infiltrate.
1 is all you need if Jamie's leading.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all have to pick from the same one.
Yeah.
Correct?
Presumably, yeah.
Okay, well, infiltrate is my vote.
Yeah,
Infiltrate is definitely my vote.
Let's try to be sneaky
I
about this.
I have infiltrate, but I only have 1. After that, it's
Okay.
gone.
How about you, Jamie? What are you going to use?
Got 10, so I'm going to use infiltrate.
Okay.
Good lord.
So this is...
I don't think I stuck. I saw that. I was like, oh, I saw the unpaid intern gag and I ran with it.
So do me a favor. The difficulty is going to be from 2 to 8. 8 being like nigh omnipotent impossible. So why don't you go ahead, decide what points you're going to spend, how many total, and make this roll. I will tell you this roll is important.
I will spend 4 points.
Cool. All right, go ahead and make that roll for me.
This isn't, I'm going to use a different dice. I don't trust that dice. It's a 3 on the dice, so a total of 7.
Nice work. Okay, so I want you to describe for me how you lead these fairly kind of like out of their element researchers through the chaos of this incursion without raising any kind of alarm on the part of the invaders.
Look, I know y'all are used to being in charge and all that, but just step where I step and do what I do, okay? And then before waiting for an answer, by the time you say that, Jamie's already moving, and so I think you just see this kind of very quick fast walk behind cover to another section of cover, kind of listening, waiting for like a spatter of gunfire to die down. We kind of see Jamie pop his head up and over. At a couple points he actually lifts up the camera and takes a picture, and then quickly whips the Polaroid until it flaps the Polaroid until it and looks at to see what he just took a picture of. And then it's a lot of just a lot of dart and move. And then there's one point where Jamie looks back and just goes, "It's real important. Don't run, don't act weird. Just follow me as if we're walking down a hallway, okay?" And Jamie calmly stands up and casually strolls from one side to the other, just truly invoking that unpaid intern competence of people aren't even gonna notice I'm there. Like if you act normal, act like you belong, and people will treat you like you belong.
Yeah, and we get like a wide shot of the corridor, and the three of us are walking across like the Beatles walking across Abbey Road, except there's absolute chaos occurring all around us.
I think like Vivian, there's a shot of like Vivian exchanging glances with Myron and going like that game from when we were kids. Red light, green light, stop and go.
Sure. Seeing a lot more red light right now.
I will say this, as you are kind of like making that red light, green light, that's piggybacked action. One of you sees one of the Hiss troopers, these Hiss rangers, get a hold of one of the rangers with an HRA. You see it rip the HRA off of this downed, kind of dazed ranger, and you watch as the ranger raises his hands to his temples and begins screaming and curling into the fetal position. While that happens, you see another ranger basically fire into that Hiss ranger and attempt to rouse his comrade, who then proceeds to become suffused with red light and begins trying to scratch at the ranger's equipment and at his face.
What is this?
Never seen anything like it. And
No, me neither.
Does Vivian have like some sort of recording device in her field kit that she brought with her?
I will say that would normally be a preparedness roll, but the thing about this is we assume that you have everything you need for your field kit. So
Okay.
if you want to, you can absolutely record that.
I think she will do so. I mean, as covertly as possible, obviously not, giant movie camera like filming of this. But I think she has no idea what this is. This is not something the Bureau has ever seen before. And by God, she's going to start taking some data about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So you begin kind of recording. You also see where basically as this, I think that as this this kind of like downed ranger gets repelled by his comrade, you watch as the red light begins to suffuse and begins to really kind of overwhelm this person's form, to the point where suddenly the ranger's head that was dazed and is now kind of like infected, his head lolls to one side and basically begins raising his weapons in an offensive action. And you again hear slowly but surely that sound of that atonal poem being recited through the mask, the protective mask of the ranger.
That sounds like what Amelia said on the television, or that doll version of her. We have to sing the opposite song. We have to keep, I guess, these HRAs on as long as possible. And if we can't do that, well, we have to fight its words. We can't listen to it. Whatever it is, listening to it gives it power.
Do you have any sort of syntactic or semantic analysis?
I need more time. I would have to listen to it. I mean, I can't do that in the middle of
Which we can't
combat
do
zone.
because yeah, got it.
But I have taken down what it's saying. We've got that. So provided we can get to an area that's a little bit more, I don't know, a little less contentious, let's say, maybe we can do some analysis and try to work up some sort of
Generate
countermeasure.
some sort of opposing ritual.
But for now, I say let's just do what the kid says. Focus on getting through this.
It is not long.
Right. How much further to your sister?
I think. Yeah, go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie's looking at his iPair watch.
Yeah. You see your you look at your iPod and you you manage. I think that you do see that tag beacon is right on top of yours, but probably separated by about a floor.
All right, so we got to go up or down.
I believe Jane was up higher. You guys are a couple floors below her.
So yeah, I think really quickly, Jamie texts you and using as many emojis as humanly possible. So it's like letter U, up or down.
You get a ringtone, Jane, that is one of the last beats of, but it's like for the text tone.
Jane will just quickly say coming down. Because that's what I had said she was doing, is she was coming down.
You're coming downwards. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it is not long until you guys are reunited. You're about a floor below each other, and there are methods of egress even on this floor, even as kind of like the chaos is like basically on the floor above you. And kind of like on the floor that you are about to leave, the three of you guys. So I think that you guys can meet in the middle in kind of like a back stairwell here. So you guys rolled high enough. I think that it's not very long until you are reunited. What do you do?
What's the plan? It is crazy up there, and also I saw on the surveillance there are people floating in the middle of the air, unconscious. We need to get out of here.
Yeah, not kidding.
Jamie
Yeah.
hands you a gun.
All over the oldest
Oh.
house.
Thank you. And Jane instantly relaxes as soon as there's a gun in her hand. Okay. Feel a lot better with this in my hand, I'm not gonna lie.
I think if Jamie, you're giving Jane your gun, I think if you automatically brandish the hand grenade, she's gonna. Jane, you notice there's a hand grenade that Jamie's holding on to.
Do you want me to have that one too, or you know what? Just why don't you keep that one?
I got this one.
Yeah.
Might come in handy.
Because I believe Jane is the better shot of the two, but she doesn't like Jamie being completely defenseless.
Yes, the best self-defense, a hand grenade.
Oh, hey,
Listen,
mutually
if
assured,
anyone can pull that off, it's you.
mutually assured destruction. That's the key to self-defense. Apparently.
Yeah, brother don't.
Okay, so you guys are reunited. I will tell you this: you can leverage your investigative abilities to try and find the best path forward, or you can just kind of plan and figure out and tell me what you're going to do.
All right, we got to find a safe house.
I hate to say it, but I wonder whether the best way out isn't through. I mean, the Panopticon is probably one of the safest, most contained areas in the entire oldest house. And if the whole oldest house is infected, well, the safest place is where they're guarding the safest stuff, you know?
But that's what they're there to get. I don't know if they're going to be guarding it for much longer. Could I tell who was winning the firefight before I left?
I think that you do see that several of the non-infected. Actually, you know what? This sounds like a roll that I need to do. Actually.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Okay, so that was the hiss. The humans are the non-infected rangers won by 1 point. So I think you see one ranger limping off from the battle back towards the area of the security office.
Okay. I'll say, Old people. You want to talk to him and ask him what happened, or do you want me to do it? I mean, I'm happy to do it. I can make myself sound scarier than I am, but
Old people.
Listen.
I'm 27.
Not that old, you know.
Why you gotta act like you're 50?
Look,
Okay, now that's just your perception, all right? And I can't.
Is it though?
You know what?
age, like
Not the
time,
time.
is relative.
Not the time. Not the
And
time.
like Vivian seems on the precipice of giving like a philosophical speech about the passage of time and its relativity, but then
Oh, all right. I'll do the talking if we're just gonna stand here wasting time.
fine. Myron, are you coming? We need to intercept this person.
Yeah.
And then, so I think, yeah, Vivian will walk up to this like
Hey,
limping.
hello,
At
officer. No, I don't think that's right.
which point I think that
Lieutenant?
actually let me go ahead switch this to unfortunately this I think this music is woefully not as creepy as I need it to be. There we go. Okay. So I think at this point, you manage to flag down the security officer who is limping away, and I think who is applying pressure to a bullet wound to one leg, and looks at you, one arm clutching a rifle, one arm clutching the bleeding leg, and looking at all of you kind of wide-eyed through his equipment, and begins kind of like limping towards you as quickly as possible, and like in a low voice looking and just saying, "What's going on? What?" And begins kind of like trying to find a spot to stay hidden with you.
Well, we were kind of hoping to ask you that, but Dr. Bancroft, do you have the med kits?
Yeah. And she's already pulling out like gauze and some disinfectant.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at that leg.
Yeah. At which point, I think the ranger sets down his rifle and rips open the pants leg and sits on the ground before picking the rifle back up and looks at all of you with panicked eyes.
Okay, I know a little first aid. Does anybody else know first aid? Give me the thing.
Anybody can roll medic to apply some healing here.
Who has points in medic? I have 2.
Okay. Yes, I also have 2, so I'm equally.
This bastard gave me so much anxiety every single time I do that. I'm just like, you're gonna get shot.
Whoever wants to apply the medical kit, go ahead, and you guys can attempt to talk to this survivor.
I can go ahead and do it. So I will add 1 point to the roll, and that's a 3, so 4.
Okay. So I think 4 is definitely enough. You begin kind of applying pressure to the wound, staunching the bleeding, and I think very clinically being taught first aid in training orientation at Federal Bureau of Control. Kind of ominously, when you were brought in for research, you begin kind of like the task of removing the bullet using a pair of basically clamps taken from the bag to basically pull the lead out of his flesh. And as you are kind of like doing that, you are, I assume that one of you is talking to him. What would you like to be saying?
If Katz does not immediately start talking, Jane's gonna elbow him again, like back in the attic, and just be like, distract him by asking questions.
Right. Okay. Number 1 question. What the hell is going on in there?
And he looks at you and just says, I don't know what happened. Suddenly, just there was this red glow everywhere, and
Focus, buddy. You got this.
does anybody have any?
Yeah.
And is there any anesthetic in there? And looks at all of you and just says, so there was just this red glow, and we heard this noise and this chatter, and everybody, it seemed like that wasn't my team. They just started attacking us. Other ones, I don't know, they're like the ones that are kind of just floating in the air. I don't know what's happening, but they're just like saying this strange stuff. We had just secured the object
They
of
shot
power.
you?
Huh?
Other rangers shot you.
Yes. Yeah. Matt shot me. I've known Matt for 5
Right.
years.
I based on the message I got from the board, something.
Hold on. Back up. What? Excuse.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that. I answered a phone call and there was
And
the
it
board.
was the board.
The board
Yes.
spoke to you? What did they say? Quickly.
I have to roll to remember how well Jade's gonna remember that shit. Something about the hiss and coming for them / us. I don't know, but those people were not our people, and I guess they're winning up there. We gotta stop them. Okay. I don't know. What is?
So
Is
it's a
there a
full-on
roll to
incursion.
recall?
I will tell you this. This happened fairly immediately. I am gonna just give you the full text of what they said.
Oh yeah, I put it in our Discord. The question is, does Jane remember enough to transmit the knowledge to everybody?
This happened just relatively
yeah.
not very long ago. You are the top of your game. You are competent enough to remember what this
right.
person said.
Jane word vomits it in as nonsensical a manner in which it was presented.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Well, that's exceptionally straightforward. I think Vivian's very used to hearing the board speak, given how much and how often she works in the astral plane.
What's with all the slashes?
It's a long story, but in a nutshell, when the board speaks, they don't have quite the language that we do for things. So they speak in abstraction. They speak in sort of philosophical ideals of what the thing they are trying to express is. So, for instance, if they're talking about the dollhouse, right, they say sanctuary, because what they're trying to express about the dollhouse is not simply that it is a dollhouse, but it is rather what the dollhouse represents, what it offers, what it is in its essential form, which in their vernacular or vocabulary is a sanctuary, apparently.
So
and
we're
I think
back
they're
to
just
your
asking
pet
us-
object of power.
Of course. The board wants us to
course.
protect it
Sanctuary for who?
for the family. The
What
family,
family?
the family / nexus. I'm not entirely sure on that one, what they mean by nexus, but the family I would assume as a very literal reference to the girl and her parents, the dolls in the dollhouse.
Well, it didn't do a very good job protecting them, then, did it?
Well, it did disappear into the protective, into some sort of rift thing before they opened fire. So I don't think they have it yet, but they're going for it.
Oh, see, yeah, it fell into a hole, so we can't go get it. Too bad.
What kind of hole did it fall into? Extra dimensional? Because
It
we have
sounds
the
like a
ability
bad
to.
one, like a real bad one.
I thought, wasn't it the Rangers who put it away before, like they put it away for safekeeping before they opened fire, right?
What constitutes a bad hole?
That was
Like,
to the DM. Sorry, DM.
Jamie will actively be just kind of half listening and more
That's pretty much any hole
Philosophizing.
in the oldest house, without exception.
that's rude. There's some perfectly nice holes in the house.
But yeah, what I don't, since it was last episode, I thought I saw the good Rangers
They
put
had
it somewhere.
and as you are kind of thinking about this, the ranger said, "Yeah, the dollhouse object of power. we were in charge of securing that. I was on my way back to the security center. I just watched it leave. It was like it got swallowed up.
Where was this?
It was in the Panopticon on the 7th floor. I don't know what's going on up there, but I met resistance down here. It can't be much better.
There's ways to move around and avoid. Where are y'all fighting?
So basically, he says, well, so the back stairwell here, I think that's a way you can sneak back, but honestly, it was just right out in the open. They just opened fire. We were like sitting ducks. There's probably a little cover. You might find another survivor. I can try to help, but I'm in bad shape here.
Yeah, maybe you should give Janie your gun.
Give me that sidearm.
All right. Jade tosses it. Safety's on. It's fine.
Yeah, and he checks the clip, makes sure there's not a round in the chamber, and re-clips, puts it into the clip, or checks that there's a round.
Get back to security from here?
I can try. I think as long as I don't know how long it'll last, like waiting for the fire break, but I think I haven't seen any of them, down here after I managed to survive. I'll try my best.
Yeah,
and then
Langston and a team of rangers are over there. If you can make it to them, you can link up with them. They'll be able to provide better first aid, I can tell you that, for starters.
Okay, thank you so much.
No offense, he says to
I think
Vivian.
Vivian is just like shooting him daggers. Look, I haven't dressed a wound in goodness knows how long. It's not my purview, all right?
I've never dressed a wound. That's not what I meant. What I meant was...
It is what you said, however.
You are capable, but not a professional.
So
Some of the
over the
rangers
heads
might
of
be
these two,
professionals.
Jamie's like doing weird twin communication with the eyes and just kind of like at Jane, just going.
All right.
at which point I think the guy down like just getting patched up is like thank you, and just begins to try to rise and kind of limp back to the security office. You now have a ranger's rifle. Go ahead and add 1 to all of your test results for shooting. And you may add 2 points to your shooting pool, whoever is wielding the rifle.
Is that you or me?
That's Jane. Oh yeah, no, Jamie.
Okay.
Jamie doesn't particularly like guns.
Sweet.
He knows
Now
how to
my
use
shooting is at 9 in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 1 to rolls. Sweet.
Yeah. So I will also say this. Just thinking about all of the context here. Don't forget that you guys got another 2 build points from the last session in case you need them.
Yeah,
Holding on to those.
Around.
Okay. So yeah, you now have a rifle. You've patched up this ranger who is beginning to limp back to the fire break. You know that the dollhouse was on the 7th floor. What are you guys going to do?
Does Jamie or Jane know of a faster route other than the back staircase?
Or do the eggheads?
There is a central
Katz
elevator.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just assume y'all don't know
And
shit.
no, we have no knowledge of our own workplace beyond the research sector where we stay.
So
Yep, that's pretty much the long and short of it.
Fair.
Running through the middle of the Panopticon, there is this kind of like crane-like elevator with a operating controls panel that basically connects both sides of the Panopticon through this one long walkway. And if you use it, you will go straight up several floors, but it is very loud and it will garner attention. What would you like to do?
I
don't want to garner attention.
Yeah, they're pretty shooty up there, so I'd say quiet is better. I mean,
Your brother's the Pathfinder, so
this is
any route we're going, we're following him, I guess.
Do y'all want to arm yourself with something? We're walking into a firefight. And also,
Listen,
if we survive this shit, y'all better make sure we get paid.
hey, that's a big if right now. I'll let you know.
You're asking us to die for this. Dollhouse thing, possibly.
Well, I don't know if any of us are getting paid any longer because I don't know if you noticed, but one of the things the board said is that there's going to be a new director arriving. It doesn't exactly bode well for what happened. What do you think they even called you, Jane? Why would the board speak to you if they could speak to the director? That's more clear protocol. It reasons to believe that maybe our fearless leader is no longer with us.
And at that, Jane definitely looks at Jamie kind of panically, given their personal relationship with the director.
Okay, listen, we can stand here all day jumping to wild conclusions, or we can do one of two things. We can get to that dollhouse and figure out whatever the hell it is the board wants us to figure out, or we can leave and get to a safe room and hunker down until this is all over.
I don't think the latter one is an option, given that the board said, well, I mean, maybe for you, but it told me that you must stop, and I don't know if it meant the royal you or the me you, but I think I gotta go. I'm just saying, if I make it out, I want some money. That's all I'm saying.
Do you think if somebody kills the old director, do they become the new director? Does it work? Is it like a
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Situation?
This is not the Highlander. What
It did say new director arrives.
I mean,
That doesn't make
Coming.
that doesn't make it seem like the new director ascends or, does some old school noble murder and shit.
The
Look,
board chooses the director. Nobody knows how, and that's that. Again, we are in imminent danger here, so let's get moving in one direction or another.
Jamie starts walking immediately.
All right, I hope y'all are excited to get shot at, because it's gonna happen. Jane just follows Jamie.
Okay.
Let the record continue to show that I am not excited to get shot at.
I don't think any of us are excited to get shot at, Myron.
If we pass anything that looks weapony, or like, I don't know, a heavy anything that the eggheads can smash into things, Jane's gonna be like, grab that.
I will tell you this.
The only thing that I have any skills to do is I can almost shoot. We've established that that Katz has retained the absolute dead basic bare minimum field agent firearms training that they give at the FBC, and that is it.
You can shoot it from 5 feet away, point blank.
Yeah.
You know enough not to shoot yourself by accident.
Yes.
You vaguely remember a ranger on an obstacle course saying, you hear a fairly bored voice basically saying, okay, ready, rangers, go, that type of thing for the obstacle course. I don't think you cleared past the first hurdle there, Myron. So I think you didn't.
No, I got the lowest score that would still allow me to be authorized to go into the field.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that Vivian just tested out of it. So she
You got a dispensation.
Yeah, literally somebody just wrote me a pass, so I didn't have to do it, which means I
didn't have to do gym class.
You got a hall pass.
You have asthma. Okay. Okay. So my question still remains here. Are you taking the direct path, or are you guys going to do the circuitous path?
whatever is safer, which sounds like the circuitous.
Circuitous one, I think, is what we
for
decided.
sure.
Okay,
Great. I'm stuck in this accent.
so
You're very
Welcome. We're just stuck in this accent now, but that's the point. Our characters are Southern. We didn't say that.
so I will tell you this. Go ahead and make me another piggybacking action. Once again, you guys can use infiltration to try and get through. So I will say that because you took this path before, you know the way, so the difficulty is going to be slightly lower. But my question is, does everybody have a point in infiltrate?
Yeah, it's also going to be slightly higher because I'm fresh out of points.
He's saying
I have the 2 unused points from last time, so I am going to drop 1 into infiltrate.
Okay.
Oh, I do actually have build points.
Oh yeah, the
I'll use
2.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll at least use 1.
Yeah, putting 1 in infiltrate, so now I have 1 to use.
All right.
I'll use 2.
Okay. So in that case, you are using 2. Everybody has gone ahead and spent their 1 point to piggyback. I would like you to go ahead and make me a roll then.
Let's go, brother.
That is a 3, so a total of 5.
All right. Once again, you make your way up the staircase towards the backside of these Panopticon cells. You begin making your way and ascending to level 7. As you are about to pass through the doorway that leads out to the 7th floor, you see a strange thing, which I might need to change the music for if I can do that right quick. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. As you are walking up, you see a familiar silhouette, almost like a spectral image, basically being projected through the hallway that you're passing. And you see the silhouette shadowed of a cigarette smoking man with glasses, wearing a suit. And you know from the countless number of times that he has spoken to you, that he has done his best to kind of direct you and Jane, that this is Director Zachariah Trench. And as he speaks to you, there is a lack of tone, a lack of urgency, a lack of emotion. Said, and you hear him say, "I failed the oldest house, but maybe you can still do some good. The Dollhouse, the Hiss wanted. It's up to you and your sister. Not much I can do here. New director, coming soon. Clear her path, or let her clear one for you." I will note that both Jamie and Jane, both of you saw this. I would like each of you to make...
We did not.
You did not. I would like Jamie and Jane to both make a stability test for me.
I'm just writing down what you said. Sorry, 1 second. All right.
Sorry, the echo there was a little bit more than I was hoping, but
It was fine. I'm spending a single point.
okay.
I'm gonna spend 2 because I have them.
Okay. Your target is the standard. It's going to be 4.
All right. Well, I rolled a 5 on the dice.
Awesome.
So 7. 3 total?
3 total. 2 on the dice, 1 point spent.
Okay, so you've spent 1. I need you to suffer 2 points of stability as you realize that Zachariah Trench is dead.
That damage, does that go out of my rating or my pool?
Out of your pool, not out of your rating.
Okay.
You just have the feeling that this father-like figure that has basically been doing his best to guide you in spite of like the absence of your parents or your any kind of like guidance in that manner, is no longer on this plane. He is a now kind of extra normal paranatural entity that is existing between these dimensions.
Oof.
Jane's gonna immediately get whatever arm, well, not her right arm because she's bracing the rifle in that one. She's gonna squeeze Jamie's elbow with her left hand and then turn back to Katz and Dr. Bancroft and say, the director's gone.
What do you mean?
Jamie's crying a little bit, like silently and blank face, but there's tears running down his cheeks.
Hey, what's going on?
The director's gone. The Hiss want the dollhouse. And we gotta protect it until the new director comes. Or wait for her to get here. I mean, either way, the dollhouse is where we need to be.
What did you see?
Director Trench.
What kind?
Ish.
Describe.
And Jane will describe what, because Jamie is not going to be describing anything, so Jane will do it.
Jamie's like snuffling now
yeah.
and like kind of wiping his nose on his sleeve.
Mm-hmm. And Jane's hand does not leave Jamie's arm. Like she does not break physical touch while she's describing. She's trying to ground Jamie. Touch.
And as you guys comfort each other and the two researchers do their best to make them like understand what is transpiring and what forces are at work here, the two twins hear the very last and that is where we're going to take our 10-minute break. So you have entered onto the Panopticon floor. I am going to go ahead and roll a die. Myron, high or low?
Let's go high.
Okay. As you exit out onto the floor, you don't see any active Hiss agents or creatures or whatever those things were. You do see a lot of downed rangers, most of whom are basically just been filled full of bullet wounds. None of the active kind of suffused with red Hiss rangers seem to be on the floor as you make your entrance. I will say also for people who are looking to scavenge weaponry or any other tools or items, there are a lot of downed rangers, both Hiss and actually I will say this, the Hiss don't leave remains, so there are a bunch of downed FBC rangers on the floor where you enter. What do you do?
I mean, I feel like I'm nudging a roll here. Has any of us ever seen this number of like dead human bodies before?
I will say this. Yeah, I think that is a very good point. Because at least I think out on the floor spread out are at least half a dozen. So I would like everybody to make me a stability roll. Once again, your test number is 4. And if you, if you fail, you are going to suffer a number of stability point loss.
What happens if we run out of stability?
Buddy.
Oh, buddy, I will tell you.
Your mind.
Then you become unstable.
You become.
Well, I rolled a 3 on the dice plus 1 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a single point in there. I'm gonna put my 1 remaining point in
I'm
there.
gonna blow.
Or sorry, I have 2.
Yeah.
Got
Okay.
a 6
2
on the
points.
die, flat roll.
All right. 6 flat roll.
4 on the dice plus 2, 6.
Okay. How'd you do, Jamie?
4.
Okay. So everybody passes. I think that just the urgency of the situation has got all of you basically enforcing tunnel vision. Like, it's not there if I don't focus on it. It's not there if I don't focus on it.
Yep.
That said, if you guys need to pick up any extra supplies, weaponry, now is the time.
Yes. we
Jane is
definitely-
grabbing
Jesus Christ.
everything in
God,
sight
Bloodbath up here.
and tossing firearms to Katz and possibly at Bancroft. I don't know if she catches it, but
I think she does, and she looks at it like it's a foreign, like some sort of specimen that she doesn't understand. like what do I do with this? I think maybe she sidles over to Myron and she's like, I don't exactly know how to say this, but how do you use one of these?
Are you serious? You're authorized for field duty and you didn't take basic firearms training?
I'm the director of a research initiative. I never thought I would have to. I tested out.
I look at rocks and they made me shoot at things.
Well, it's a privilege of being the head of a division, I guess. I don't know. All I know is now I wish I'd had even baseline training because I don't know how to shoot a gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think what about this gets it?
You point the bad end away from you and away from everybody else at all times, and you pull the trigger when you want to destroy something.
Wait,
I've got that much. I've
Jane-
seen films.
Jane comes over and will be like, "This is the safety. You keep this on, and also, don't shoot with your eyes closed.
Thank you.
That
Those
never
are
works out."
Helpful tips. And I think she shoots Myron like a disparaging
gosh.
shit in the boot.
God!
No, a look.
You terrible guns. Immediately.
Her eyes are like
Stop that
about ready to
I love it.
wait.
But I think like I have a feeling both Jade and Jamie just have like rifles strapped across the area on all
Yeah,
sides.
what?
They don't
Like-
have time for ammo.
I think
if they're rangers, it's all rifles, right? I assume. Yes. Do we all
There's
have
prob- they-
rifles?
they
now?
They probably have sidearms
Well.
too.
Yeah,
Alright.
Jamie has stripped his while Jane was grabbing guns and doing all that. Jamie has stripped as many magazines of spare ammunition as he can find, and I think at one point, just kind of at the end of that, just walks up and just goes, "Here, hold this. That might be more useful," and hands a a small stack of assault rifle magazines to Dr. Bancroft.
I think she holds it like it was like a necklace or something. I was like, okay, I'll figure out how that works later.
Okay. I guess Katz has taken a sidearm. Right. This is the only thing I have any sort of training on, and if I have to use it, we're in trouble. So let's not get to that point.
Hold on 1 second. And I think Jane's just going to put a rifle around Katz so that the gun hangs on the back, just in case.
Great.
Well, and like tag team in that as per usual. Jamie stuffs a couple into your lab coat. Are you wearing like a lab coat? What are you
Oh
wearing?
yeah, Katz's default outfit is jeans, a gag t-shirt.
What's this one say?
It is it's the table of elements, and it says
course it is.
I consult this periodically.
Oh no!
Yes,
Oh,
man after my
I
own
feel like
heart.
Gag,
so
gag
Vivian
t-shirt, jeans, and a
specifically
lab coat.
hates Like Vivian has always hated this specific t-shirt, and like to see it now, just like it's extra salt in the wound.
This might be the last t-shirt you see
Well,
him
you
in.
can find that salt on the periodic table.
Yeah, so you can definitely come up to Katz and like stuff. You know, he's got like his FBC badge like on the pocket of his lab coat.
I think
So you can
very,
definitely,
very like
stuff
it's almost
some
like you don't notice
magazines
it
into
until
the
you realize
pockets.
that your pockets are full of bullets
Oh, we're dressing the parents up.
with murder.
I feel like Vivian like looks at everything that's on her, and she's like, I feel like I'm a GI Joe or something. Is this how that like they feel? This is what I imagine a GI Joe would feel like.
I mean,
No,
I'm an unpaid intern. I don't know. I'm just trying to give us the best survival option here.
a bunch of heavily armed interns and researchers. This is going to go great. Okay.
I mean, what could possibly go
And,
wrong?
You know,
All,
Katz
all
like
the military does
checks
is
the
get
safety and like, you know, like double clicks it to make sure it is absolutely 100% on before he like stuffs the handgun in his waistband. Okay, let's go. Come on.
All right. So, as you are making your way out onto the 7th floor of the Panopticon, you see the cell where the dollhouse used to reside. And there is a small door way where you can enter, but it seems to be code locked. What do you guys do?
Anyone have skill in cryptography?
I do. I have a single point in cryptography.
Okay.
Jamie was a weird kid.
I love it.
I think I do too. Hold on. Wait. Maybe.
Well, I'm not a computer guy and we don't have the code.
I have
I've
2
got-
points in cryptography.
Why are we the way that we are?
No, I think we played a lot of like video games, and which is why we're completely just emulating video game characters with all the gun magazining. Maybe we taught ourselves shooting because of it. We're weird.
We've had a weird run of things, and I think
We're broken.
I think we spin I think the twins spin off each other too, interest wise.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like a ping pong ball. So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say the reason why we both have points in cryptography is when we were bored, we used to encode messages so that the director couldn't read our communiques to each other, even though it was just dumb shit like I stole a bunch of juice boxes. They're hidden in.
There was also an extremely long period of time where it was just us being bored.
It was an extremely long period of time.
So, what do you do when you're bored? Make shit up.
Okay.
Groundhog Day, that shit.
So I will say this. I would actually think that I would like Jamie to like point spend here. I will say that you can also point spend Jane in order to get a benefit for kind of like what this transpires. But I feel like this would be something Jamie would typically do first, I imagine.
Nah, bro's got it.
Okay.
Yeah, like if nothing else, it's like while that's going on and other people are talking, Jamie's poking around in the background. So I will spend that point. Am I rolling the bones?
You are not.
Ooh.
You are using an investigative ability. So you get a clue. Or you kind of like get a special benefit. So the thing that you get when you spend this point. So it's a little unusual how you and your sister seem to be able to use modern technology fairly effectively within the confines of the oldest house. And it becomes apparent to you that is the case as you rest your hand kind of idly on the code lock as if to kind of like ponder, okay, how am I going to break this? Now, even the code lock is based on like very old technology by contemporary cryptographical standards. Like this thing is modeled after cryptography in its infancy. Think like the ARPANET and like the Manhattan Project and all of the kind of like 50s, 60s, 70s era technology that really kind of like preceded the modern rise of computing. It's like machine language. And there is something about this lock as if like it's something that you think you could almost like figure out very kind of like it's a 1,000,000 to 1 shot. Most of the time cryptography is social engineering. It's getting people to tell you their password. And the thing about it is, and through increasingly artful and very kind of devious or kind of surreptitious means. And yet, when you place your hand on the lock speaks to you. And you have it in your head. 4-digit code. 0102. And as you hear that in your mind, you hear again.
Ooh. This is fun.
All right, so we're gonna have to go. I don't know. We're gonna have to find a record of the code. We're gonna have to go back and consult Langston.
Trial and error. There's only so many permutations of a 4-digit combination there could be. I could start calculating them.
And we're gonna try to input those one by one.
Well, I don't think we have another choice.
I could hit it with the butt of a gun.
Don't break it.
Wait, sorry, Jamie, I cut you off. What are you gonna do?
Oh, Jamie's just gonna like in the middle of that. Jamie's kind of like feeling, vibing with this lock, and then just goes, boop 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 boop.
The door opens into
How on earth?
I mean, it tracks.
Guess that? Okay, there are 5,040 possible combinations that you could have entered.
Shane's already walking through with Jamie, I think.
I think like Vivian is equally stunned. She's like, either you're very, very lucky or you've been holding out on us, Jamie.
Just lucky like that, I guess. Come on. Don't get lost.
Okay.
As we walk into a room with no other exit.
All right. You guys are in a soundproof. By the way, big thank you to 20-Sided TV for the raid. Hello. Thanks so much. I will go ahead and tell you this. As you walk into the room, this ostensibly counts as a crime scene or as kind of like an area of investigation. And I will tell you, being here, you get several clues. My question is, what investigative abilities are you employing in this space? I will tell you right off the bat, I think the very clearest bit of evidence that one of you notices straight away is that porcelainifying effect that you noticed, Myron, in the Markham AWE. You also notice that the dais on which this object of power was ostensibly meant to be placed, part of it, especially the surface around wherever this would have been laid, has also been porcelainified. But I can tell you right now, everybody, go ahead and employ your investigative abilities. Tell me what you're doing. I will do my best to give you those point spend benefits or let you know where those benefits are available. Otherwise, you'll just get regular clues.
Can we get just a brief, like, high-level description of the room here?
Absolutely. So you're in a very large kind of soundproofed rectangular chamber. The soundproofing is very much kind of like standard foam. A lot of this stuff is painted like safety orange, and on this kind of like in the center of this room on a raised platform would ostensibly be where the dollhouse would be situated. So first thing you notice is the dollhouse is missing. The second thing is, you know, that there are a number of security cameras basically focused on the dais itself, as if to observe the item and basically kind of like transmit that image back to the Panopticon security office. In addition to that, there are several lights. Basically, this room is completely coated in bright fluorescent white light to better light the platform on which this dollhouse would be located. There are a number of what you realize, I think, especially anybody that has spent any time around the HRAs recently, which is all of you, that there are several wires built into the kind of like lining, or kind of feeding into the lining of that insulation, which is kind of soundproofing the room. Several of them have been cut, but where they would typically kind of connect, you see what look to be hadronic resonance amplifiers in the wall.
The wires look like they've been cut.
Yeah, as if they've been kind of like not just severed, but corroded.
And clearly, this is the right containment unit. The dollhouse was here, and Katz, pulls on some like nitrile gloves and is going to take out like a small scraping tool and scrape at the porcelain just to confirm that it is what we think it is.
Absolutely. It is actually, I will tell you this, you can use parageology right now for a point spend. I will give you a pretty big point benefit here.
Okay. Yeah, I'll spend a point.
So as you kind of basically are gathering samples, you realize that the platform, it is not just the platform on which the dollhouse would normally be situated that has been porcelainified. It seems like there was kind of, wherever the dollhouse went, whatever was on the other side of the portal or the door that it went through, it let something else back in with it. And you recognize it instinctually as black rock. And not only that, you notice that black rock has been porcelainified.
Oh my God. Dr. Bancroft, you need to see this. Look.
What is it?
This residue here. Okay, this part is porcelain. The bottom of this sample is black rock.
Black rock? Are you sure? That shouldn't be possible.
No, it shouldn't. Black rock is a completely extra-dimensionally neutral substance. There's no way that this substrate could be affected by anything. We use it to line containment units.
Yeah, let alone transmute it into some sort of modern physical metal. That's quantum. It shouldn't be possible at all.
No, it shouldn't be able to interact with anything, like you say, at a basic quantum level. And yet, here we have a sample that's been partially turned to porcelain. It's impossible.
And yet, the evidence sits before us.
So,
It does.
I will tell you this. I will say this, Dr. Bancroft, you may also spend me a point if you would like to kind of basically kind of derive any additional kind of information here. I think this would
Yes.
probably refer to like an astral dive or something along those
Yeah.
lines, or interdimensionality.
I have astral plane as a skill, so I can spend a point in astral plane to try to gather more info.
Okay. So as you kind of like, I think that this is less to do with the astral plane itself so much as like interdimensionality and kind of like being able to travel between kind of like planes and dimensions and thresholds in particular, which is that essentially it's very clear that from that residue, when the portal, whatever portal opened up, basically it didn't leave the oldest house. It went to a very specific part of the oldest house because the dimensional kind of residue, as you kind of take out your field kit, is off. If this were to go to the astral plane, there would be a lot of different kind of like explosions of energy. You would kind of like be able to find that like evidence. With this, you realize it was kind of a short jump. And all things point to basically the Dollhouse has been sent to the Black Rock quarry.
That's it then. This didn't go to the astral plane. It's gone to somewhere else in the oldest house. The Black Rock quarry.
So we got to keep on our scavenger hunt for it?
Well,
that way.
yeah, but slow down. Hold on. Why the quarry?
It's a good question.
And also, what the hell can get in and out of the quarry? The entire thing is black rock.
Which is not as impenetrable as you thought, so hey.
Well, at
It's
least
the most
not...
impenetrable substance known to the FBC.
Except the sportsland shit. Got right through, didn't it?
that
Yeah.
and the hiss, I'm assuming.
So the FBC don't know everything.
Which is why we need to take as many samples as we can. We need to create an archive, some sort of document as to what's going on right now, something that we can, or someone can study later.
Is there a camera in that bag of yours?
Mm-hmm.
We can help with photography, but
It's
I'll
time
let
to
you-
grab and run, Doc. We gotta go.
I will ask you this. Are you guys conducting any additional investigative measures here? Especially the twins. If you guys would like to do anything, I'm more than happy to kind of address that.
Jamie's been around the block with a lot of stuff in a very weird and cryptic way. It was a really fucked up block. Would paranormal studies give me any additional insight into whether this was like a directed movement or whether the dollhouse moved on its own volition or how it moved?
I will tell you this. I think with what you have seen, you will get some insight into the point buy here.
Okay. I will spend a point of paranormal studies.
Okay. So the thing that you noticed, I think all of you guys, as you were watching this Hiss Ranger that was kind of like taken over and then attacking his fellow Ranger, is that whatever this thing is that has invaded the oldest house, it has a motive, it has strategy, it has intent. And the thing that it intended to do was to remove the HRA from one of the Rangers, which allowed it basically to get in. And the thing that it makes up the core of every HRA in the oldest house is Black Rock.
Another point of information. The previously described insulation around this containment room, also BlackRock?
There were some HRAs kind of built in underneath the soundproofing insulation. Whatever power source was enforcing that amplification was corroded and cut by ostensibly some of these rangers, or whatever other force was able to make it into the cell. Actually, I will tell you this. Anybody with evidence collection, you are able to see this very clearly, which is that you see there's a bit of debris where that seems to be kind of still smoking that has cut off pieces of this kind of like connective tissue, this connective umbilical kind of cable to the HRAs that trails out of the room. That is obvious to everybody, but with anybody with evidence collection, you would be able to see basically where the fragments have been kind of like thrown across the room.
I have evidence collection, so I'm happy to like try to look at the fragments or like ascertain more about them.
Absolutely.
And I think Jane will, I don't know if I have forensic anthropology, which could be interesting. Of course, I have paranatural studies, but I also have trivia. I have 1 point in trivia.
Okay. God, 1 point in trivia.
It just seemed like a really fun thing to do.
I took 2 points in trivia just because I feel like like sometimes you get a dork who knows random shit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Did you
Jane
know?
just collected some information that got stuck in her brain, and I don't even think she knows what it is, but it's hers now.
So
Why
Jane,
do I know who discovered blood types? I don't know.
so hold on. So Jane, remind me, what was the first couple of those skills that you had before?
Forensic anthropology, paranatural studies, or and trivia.
I will.
I also have streetwise. I don't know if that's gonna help. If you want something more physical.
Streetwise, what tells you is things are fucked up and bullshit right now.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. But the big thing is that with forensic anthropology, I will tell you this: as you are walking around the bodies of the rangers, some of those entry and exit wounds through the rangers were made by high velocity shrapnel, larger than bullets. With evidence collection, you see what looks to be some kind of like malformed debris debris that has been fired into the wall and has kind of also kind of corroded the cables that connected the HRAs within the walls to this cell. Jamie, are you doing any investigation?
I mean, I don't think so. I think Jamie's kind of spacing out, looking just looking at this scene. I mean, if he's doing anything, it's taking pictures just quickly, but he wants to go. He doesn't think that this is, if we have a pretty good idea where this thing went, and we think we know where it went, and we think we know, like, we got to get there. There's like actual pressure here. This doesn't seem important to him.
Yeah.
So I think it's more like to just kind of like, maybe if I click my camera faster, it'll make the doctors stop being fucking doctory. I don't.
Yeah.
There's some cargo cult thinking with this going on right now.
Katz refuses to do this, and as you are getting increasingly agitated, is going to go over with Dr. Bancroft and look at these corroded connectors and I would like to take a sample and see if there's any. So there's this debris, and there's some sort of corrosion on the connectors. So I don't know which one will be more useful, but I want to take a sample of both to see if I can figure out what severed the connectors.
Okay. Do you have any relevant skills that you can spend a point in here? Because I might be able to tell you something.
Yeah. Okay. Here are my pitches. Evidence collection. Chemistry.
I would
evidence collection or chemistry.
Okay. So I will tell you this. If you take evidence collection, if you use either, I can give you a little bit of information here.
Okay. Let's use chemistry because I am more sciencey.
So the insulating kind of material around kind of like the core of this cable has been melted in part and corroded mostly by friction, as if one of these pieces of debris, according to kind of like the almost like arranged in this ballistical pattern, has been fired at high velocity at the cable itself, severing it, but also kind of superheating, melting, and corroding it in the process.
And do I have any sense of what the material is? The debris.
The debris, as I will tell you this, as you kind of like look through it, I'm trying to think of what would be. It looks like somebody mashed together a clipboard and a coffee mug and superheated the materials into this charred mass and fired it at the cable.
Okay. Dr. Bancroft, you're seeing this. This makes no sense. Look, here. This was severed by friction hot enough to melt this edging. I thought it was a chemical reaction at first, but no. There's no reaction whatsoever except the heat reaction. And this, whatever did it, the remains of it are... you would have to launch this at an absolutely ridiculous velocity.
We're not in the realm of physical forces anymore, Myron. This is on a quantum metaphysical plane. And, well, you know what Conan Doyle says. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be the truth.
Would all of you guys make me a surveillance roll? Those of you that can... Anybody with a surveillance roll, I'd like you to make me a roll. Or surveillance ability, I'd like you to make me a roll now.
I got 1 point, and I'm not going to spend it.
Okay.
Yeah,
4.
just straight roll.
I spent 1 point. I roll also and end up with a 4.
Okay.
I have 5.
All right. That was enough. You get the eerie sense that all of you are being watched. And as you turn, as though the kind of like the hairs on the back of your neck are raising, you turn and you look out the clear, incredibly thick window of the cell, and you see a person suffused in red light, where what previously looked to be like a formal suit has been shredded and is in tatters around their waist, kind of drifting off of them, as you realize that they are floating in the middle of the air and watching you. Their arms raise out and you see something kind of raise up almost kind of with this gesture a mass of kind of like office equipment as well as kind of supplies, and you see it mashed together in a nasty looking shape of a kind of oblong looking sphere with several pointed edges. What do all of you do?
Duck.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Are all of you taking cover?
Yeah, Katz
Yes.
hits the deck.
Yeah. Jane does exactly what she did earlier, which is belly flops
Okay.
and grabs Jamie on the way down if he isn't already moving.
Oh yeah, Jamie's already moving.
All right.
Okay. I need every.
But definitely took a picture of this thing before.
Yeah,
we
I
hit
was
the
gonna say, I
ground.
think Vivian is also recording, and so has just gotten that clip of like how those two things were formed together by the hiss.
Yeah, absolutely. As you do that, you see this thing throw a massive projectile of this fused together equipment at the window. It is going to make a shooting roll to get through the cell glass. It is very thick, so it's going to be a very hard roll, but it is going to spend 2 points. You see where the debris impacts telekinetically, a massive spider-like line fracture basically begins to kind of like spiral out of the point of impact. You are not sure how long this glass is going to stay stable as it begins to kind of like gesture and look at you with these red piercing glowing eyes, its mouth moving all the while it just stares unbreakingly at all of you.
The only proper cover we have is the plinth, right?
Yes. Proper cover is the plinth. Yeah, I know. I apologize.
Are we moving? What's the plan? It's coming for us.
Yes. Okay, well, that solves that. Extremely high velocity telekinesis. Okay, how do we get out of here?
Jamie?
Do I know any way out of this weird little, like, these cells? That seems unlikely.
There was one way in, which was the code locked door. There is the back way out. There is the back way out to the stairs, but there is also that central elevator if you want to tempt fate.
Well, we need to get out of this space, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're sitting ducks.
We're sitting down. We have to get out past the door. We have to get past this thing. I don't think we have an option but to fight. Jamie is gonna scramble up and just kind of look around and get behind this plinth and level a rifle for when this thing gets through the door.
Okay.
Unless Hopper's misunderstanding the situation, we're stuck in this room.
Okay. Well, if there's no way out, then
I will tell you this. The door is open to you because you have unlocked it. You can make an egress. That I will tell you for free. The thing I will say is that this thing is trying to take the most direct path to you, which is basically.
Wait, so it's not out at that door, it's at a different door?
It's looking at you through the window and firing projectiles at the window.
Where's the window?
The window is like front and center. It's basically kind of like you are in this like chamber. There is like a floor to ceiling window looking out on the rest of the panopticon. You guys like made your way in from the rear.
It's not a window in the door. I just presumed it was a window in the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my bad. You're fine.
Yeah. So Jamie's gonna kind of look at Jane and just go, try to fight or we run.
I mean, some will make a call.
Yeah.
Jamie just gives a little nod and just bolts for the door.
Okay.
All right.
So that was Jamie's move. What are the rest of you guys doing? Are you following suit?
Yeah, I think Vivian is like, I'm not staying here to try to fight this thing. She's evading, trying to get out. And I mean, they have an objective. They have like a place they're trying to get. She wants to get to the Black Rock Quarry, and staying here and fighting this thing is not going to help in that.
Yeah.
Jane's gonna, I guess, stay at the back with the rifle still pointed if it happens to break through while they're running.
Okay. Myron, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, Katz will, curse, draw his gun, and at least with no particular intention of shooting it, but will at least be holding it, as he sort of gets up and crouch runs out after everybody else, or I guess if ahead of Jane if she's guarding the rear.
Cool. Dr. Katz, high or low?
Yeah, switch it up. Let's go low.
Okay.
Get low.
Okay.
Get low.
Yeah, unfortunately, whatever this thing, its focus kind of like begins following you guys out of the room. I think that as you kind of duck out, Jane, you are bringing up the rear. At this point, it is going to probably have an opportunity to take a shot at all of you as you try to make your egress. I would like everybody to roll shooting for your initiative.
Sweet.
Okay.
That's a D20. That's not the one I want.
I'm
I
afraid
ended
that
up with a rifle. Do I get that bonus too?
We get that +1 to roll, right?
yeah, everybody gets that bonus to the roll.
So that was a 1 on the die, so that's 2 total.
Okay.
Sorry, we're rolling and we're adding our shooting?
Oh, pardon me. The shooting is a static bonus. I forgot. It's static for initiative. So
Yeah.
whatever your score is, just tell me.
Okay.
Well, right. So I have 1 rank, but then I have the additional bonus from having a ranger rifle.
Uh-huh.
So that is a total of 2 for Jamie.
Okay, cool. 2 for Jamie.
I have nothing in shooting, so I guess I have a ranger rifle on me, so that's a 1.
Okay. 2.
I thought the ranger rifle gave us a two to the pool.
Yeah, it gives you 2 to the pool and
roll.
1 to the score. Yeah.
1 to the
So
score.
I have
Okay.
a pool of 3, a score of 1, and the +1 bonus. I don't know how that math works out.
Oh, you're fine. Okay. Unless anybody has higher than that.
My unadjusted rating is 7.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So you are going to just edge out this thing as it looks to launch a projectile at the evading folks. So go ahead and roll attack for me. Your attack threshold is going to be 4.
Okay. So now, because I have the rifle, I get a +1 already.
Yeah, you start with 1 and you add your score to it. I will say that you also can add, you can spend points to make sure that you hit this.
I'm gonna spend 2, so that gives me a total of +3, I think, to the roll.
Yeah, I will tell you this: with 3, you auto hit, regardless
okay. Well, I rolled
of
a
whether or
4
not
on
you
the
roll.
die.
Okay, cool. So that is going to be, I think, 4 points of damage to this thing as you fire the rifle. Actually, that's going to be 5 because it adds that 1 bonus. And because you reached out to it and fired at it, it is going to respond in kind.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so your threshold is 4.
Yes.
It spent 2 of its own points to hit you.
Alrighty.
So you are going to take health damage. You are only going to take 3 points of health damage.
Okay.
But once again, I need you to make a high or low roll.
Let's go with high.
Okay. Okay. You see this superheated projectile just miss your HRA.
Ooh.
Okay.
Shit.
Yeah, and it seems like this thing is targeting it, and it is going to once again kind of begin pulling projectiles as it floats in the air and tries to follow the line of your escape. who is, I was gonna say whoever is higher than 1 is gonna be next in the order. Okay.
Yeah, I'm at a 2.
All right.
I'm at a 2 as well. I've got 1 point in shooting, so.
Okay. So.
Oh, well, wait. Do I have a bonus?
Yeah. Oh, do you have 2 points in shooting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you go first because you have 3 technically.
You go first.
Okay. All right. I mean, as I think somebody mentioned earlier in the chat, like all Katz feels confident doing here is like with a gun is laying down covering fire. So you know, if we're like booking it out of the room and you know, like scuttling out of the way of this thing, like I'm just gonna try to, you know, pop off a few shots in its direction. Maybe they'll hit, maybe they won't. The goal is just to you know, keep its attention like less on us.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a shooting roll. You can spend points from your pool if you want to hit it.
Okay. As I am not trying to hit it, I will just roll.
Okay.
5.
All right. You do manage to squeeze off a shot that manages to impact this thing. Roll your damage. You are going to, I think because you're not trained, you're going to do 1 less damage than normal.
Okay. And what do I roll for damage?
Just 1d6.
Okay. 5 again.
All right. It takes 4 points of damage, and it once again kind of like takes in this situation and begins to look balefully with those red glowing eyes. I need you once again. I need you to actually make me 1 more high or low roll.
Okay. I'm just gonna go back and forth. Let's go back to high.
All right. Okay. As this thing summons up another piece of debris to fling at one of you, that is when you hear another noise. You hear the sound of a object flying at high velocity, as if being like pulled suddenly, and you see a container, a large shipping container, impact the hiss elevated form. And all of you spy across the panopticon a woman with bright red hair wearing a black leather jacket, a black t-shirt, and black jeans, who is seemingly levitating towards your position. More importantly, it is beginning to levitate towards the hiss elevated. The hiss, seeing that impact, takes a good bit of damage, turns and pivots its attention away from you, and it is going to attempt to fire at this new interloper. As it throws the superheated projectile it had intended for all of you at this figure, the figure seemingly reflexively pulls up what looks like a shield made out of additional debris, where it seems to impact and bounce off of it. Jamie, Jane, all of you instinctually, through some means, almost like kind of like the base lizard portion of your brain, there is something that understands power when you see it. And all of you know this is Director Faden.
Go, 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 go.
All right.
Get the hell out of here.
Okay. As all of you continue your egress, you manage to get into the back stairwell as you hear the kind of like the clash of these titanic kind of like telekinetic abilities back and forth. Where are all of you going?
Down.
Black Rock Quarry.
Mm-hmm. Wherever that is, I don't know what that is.
Okay. I will say this. All of you begin your descent deeper into the oldest house, racing down as you hear the whatever conflict is above you slow to kind of like to a dead quiet. I will say,
what the hell?
Is everyone okay?
I mean, I think Jane just points to her bleeding arm. I mean, it's fine. What, that was the new director, right?
I would assume so. The way that she seemed to take control of that situation.
Yeah, I guess. I just...
Feels
human
right.
beings should not be able to use telepathy at that level. Nothing should.
That was a lot of power.
I mean, I'm glad she can, because she's gonna need that to fight whatever that is out there.
Well, it's our job to clear her path. That's what the board said. We have to clear her path. And to do that, we have to find the dollhouse and we have to protect it until she can make her way to us.
Yeah. Well, the director said clear a path for her, or have her, or let her clear one for you. And I think that's what she was helping us with.
Of anything that we're doing here. We're just going on guesswork.
How many times do I have to tell you that just because something isn't empirical doesn't mean that it's guesswork? You can still have laws of reality that aren't quantifiable in terms of natural science.
If it's not quantifiable, then how the hell are you supposed to make any kind of use of it?
Well, that makes it my domain and not yours.
Guess? That's
what I'm saying. All we can do is guess here. I hate it.
Guess and survive. Let's focus on the surviving part.
You just during all of this, you just hear Jamie in the background humming the the sound of "Sugar We're Going Down" by Fall Out Boy.
Nothing that we have seen in the past hour makes any sort of empirical sense. There's no data corresponding to any phenomena that we have encountered basically since this hiss appeared.
Hard agree. It doesn't make sense. But
that's why we're collecting data. We are the front line. Do you not understand that? We can't rely on what we know already because there isn't a body of knowledge to know. We are the people gathering it. This is, well, it's quite revolutionary in some respects.
Dangerous is what it is.
Dr. Katz, we don't know what we're doing, but do you trust in the board?
I have no idea. I try to steer clear of the board.
Yeah.
They're really very nice.
Well, we can either run around not knowing what's what and why and trying to figure out why nothing makes sense, or we can follow instructions from the creepy unknown people that seem to have an idea of what's going on. So, like, I don't think doing this on our own is going to get us anywhere. At least we have a mission, we have an objective, we have a place to go right now. And it's better than nothing.
And look, once we get to the Black Rock Quarry, who knows what we're going to find there, but once we get there and face whatever we're going to face and find the dollhouse, we can maybe try to contact the board again and see if they can tell us how precisely we're supposed to protect it beyond, not letting the hiss touch it, I would assume.
And hopefully getting that little girl out.
That also, poor Amelia and her family are stuck in there, but for the moment, that's actually probably the safer place to be.
I doubt it's a picnic in there for
Given
her.
what we've just seen, I think you're probably right.
No.
We gotta move.
I assumed we were walking and talking.
All we can do is keep going down these stairs.
We're gonna move faster. Conserve your breath.
All right. I will tell you this: the sector elevator, to take you down to maintenance and into the Black Rock Quarry sector, is 2 floors down. It is on the 4th floor. If you would like to continue moving that direction and make way at speed, that is kind of like the way you will want to go. Otherwise, you will probably need to make another athletics roll to determine an alternative means of navigating the house.
I think Jamie's heading for the elevator. What style of elevator is this, Zach?
This is basically like a large sector, is the sector head's elevator. So essentially it's almost like an executive elevator. Basically it allows, I think, sector heads and division heads to move very quickly between the different sectors of the oldest house, one of which would be research, for instance, or the other would be containment. In this case, maintenance is its own sector.
So yeah, Jamie's definitely heading there unless Jane basically redirects him. I think he's visibly getting distressed at like how much time the docs and even Jane are taking talking about this. I think there's clear he's tunnel visioning on getting there and solving this problem.
I will tell you this, actually, if you would like to, let me take a look. One quick thing. Jamie, if you have any investigative abilities you think would help you assist you in navigating the house more effectively, I can give you a benefit for the point spend.
History?
I'll say, yeah, history I think would work. I think that if you go ahead and spend a point, you have very kind of clearly remembered a lot of house shifts. I think that you are probably you might even be obsessively tracking them. As an intern, it's important to you to kind of like find the most expedient means of making your way through the headquarters. And not only that, but it seems like the headquarters, when it shifts, begins to disobey physical laws. So it might even be you might even, by navigating this kind of like area, is going to give you a better means of getting through multiple floors to find your way to a different sector.
I think, Jamie's definitely, his specific brand of curiosity and obsessiveness would definitely lend itself to taking the risks of moving around the house, especially when there is a shift, and how that interacts. And kind of, I think, from an exterior perspective, it seems rash and reckless, but like he's obsessive enough about remembering what different things do, all the combinations that he's seen, all the ways in which this building interacts and doesn't interact. He's definitely like, I think at this point, like he's just like barely paying attention to the fact that the other three are with him.
Excellent. Okay. So I will tell you this, you can lead a piggybacking action if everybody wants to make another athletics roll. I will tell you with that point spend, you will get +2 to the result.
I'll spend a point.
So that'll be harder because I do not have athletics.
Okay.
So
I have nothing left in athletics, but I'm gonna throw a floating build point in there.
Okay.
And then immediately spend it.
Okay.
I have points, so I'm going to spend. Did you say if we spend 1, we get +2, or was that just Jamie?
Well, basically, if you spend, Jamie will be able to lead. You get the +2 regardless. For anybody who cannot spend, you get a minus. You get a higher difficulty.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. Basically, this cancels out. Again, Jamie knows this place like the back of his hand. I will tell you. I do want to ask you this, Dr. Katz. Where does this reserve energy come from? As you kind of like summon up the will to once again kind of go in this kind of like almost like mountain climbing kind of inclination as it pertains to like navigating the oldest house.
I mean, I think it's what Jane and Vivian were saying. Like Katz is deeply uncomfortable with the number of things that he cannot quantify that are going on at once. And he is going to attempt to take Jane and Vivian's advice to heart and focus on the goal at hand and let go a little bit and go with the flow and just try to get to and do the next thing.
Okay. So what I'm going to say with this is I don't think this is necessarily a roll that you can fail. But
well, I got a 9.
You got a 9. Okay. So that controls exactly where you want to end up. So the closest location to Black Rock Quarry that has a means of getting through very quickly is the furnace chamber. There is, a side passage that leads directly into the quarry proper. Do you intend to go there, or would you like to go someplace else with your 9?
I think expediency is key. Risk is not a concern.
Okay.
At least not to Jamie.
So I will tell you this, even as you guys are making your way into this, I think it begins to get unreasonably hot in the passages through the house shifts as you make your way down. And I think at this point, reflecting the lack of point to spend, Dr. Bancroft, I think that you either maybe get a little bit overtaken by the heat or you kind of stumble. And I think at this point, Dr. Katz, you see this.
Yeah, I mean, if Dr. Bancroft is stumbling, Katz is just going to sort of catch her on the side.
I think she is kind of caught off guard / surprised by this. And I think they have kind of a moment where as Katz helps steady her, she looks up at a version of Myron that she hasn't really seen before. He's doing something athletic and it's all very different. He's going with the flow. He's not, being trapped in this kind of empirical ideology. And I think there is, as they lock eyes, a moment where you see just admiration, pure and simple, right up at you, Myron. But then it's gone. She suppresses it down, but it was there. You could see it.
I had a feeling. It's gone now.
Yes.
Excellent.
Hey, don't push it too hard. Go with the flow.
The flow.
On to the
Right.
next one, right?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, kid. Where are we?
We're in the exhaust vent that leads off the furnaces. We got about 45 seconds before the house shifts and the heat comes back through here. So let's go.
Yeah, what he said. Great.
Yeah, I would like to get out of the heat if we can soon.
It's going to get a lot hotter unless you move. And by hotter, I mean oven baked doctor is what's for dinner. And then Jamie has now exhausted his entire social energy on making that one very bad joke, and you can literally watch him crumple inside.
Okay. So you guys are making your way, kind of like your energy flagging as you get through the furnace room. And I want to know now that you are, I think that you managed to get into this massive room where there is, at its heart, a massive kind of like chamber wherein there is the eponymous furnace. It is a menacing looking machine wherein essentially whatever kind of garbage, whatever like very unsafe hazardous materials here are disposed of by the Federal Bureau Control members. And I think at this point, I think all of you understand that the more time you spend in this room, the more exposure to probably hazardous materials you will have. So the most important thing is to leave the room as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
I think Jamie
I'm pretty sure we're doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Try not to breathe. Jamie.
What are you snorting over there for?
The look on David's face. Just the head.
Okay. So yeah, I think there is a big set of double doors that lead into this room that are going to give you the best way out.
Yeah, I think the camera pans and we see the doors kind of bust open, not slam open, but just kind of very forcefully open as Jamie just kind of like hip checks one of these. I imagine it's like one of the push bar type doors. I mean, just hip checks that open, and the four of us are now in this side passage.
Okay. Yeah, as you begin kind of like making your way down this side passage, how are you guys kind of like approaching this? Are you trying to kind of like infiltrate? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to like surveil the scene and like make sure you're not caught unawares? What are you doing?
Jane is definitely going to surveil and take a look at what's going on there. And if it's all clear, I think she's just gonna. We're going in. Like it's gonna happen. Surveil might help us know what's in there.
Okay.
I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to very specifically note if there are any signs around.
Okay. Yeah, I think there is a small signpost that you guys see through kind of like a network of like branching corridors that seem to actually have somewhat high elevation relative to this entry point you've gone through, with the directions kind of leading on to directly to the Black Rock quarry. And but that said, would you go ahead and spend your surveil points for me, Jane?
Yes. I will go ahead, since I feel like this is important. I will spend 2 of them, so that brings me down to 1.
Mm-hmm.
5 on the die, so total 7.
Okay. On a 7, you notice 2 things, which is there is not too far from, as you kind of like look down the next corridor, kind of like looking up high over, and kind of like you would have to kind of vault and kind of like pass through this elevated passageway, and then take a ladder down a couple of flights worth, or a couple of stories. And as you're kind of like looking down, you hear a hum, as if from somebody singing. And you kind of half expect it to be this horrifying, like atonal poem that you've heard these things sing. But you hear instead, and you notice that there is a glow coming out of basically the corridor from which you are hearing this humming. It is kind of a glow as if from a television.
Jane makes that face at everybody else, like, and then
is this
eyes to the glow.
is this at the end of the corridor that we're in, or is it in the adjacent?
It's in
area?
it's in the adjacent. It's the like where the
Okay,
signage is pointing towards the Black Rock Quarry.
Does that humming sound familiar?
Yeah, that's the other question.
Oh yeah. To the interns especially, you recognize the humming of your kind of supervising custodian, Autie.
I think Jane likes Autie. Should we tell him to get out of here?
Jamie doesn't
Listen,
think Autie's a person.
you can try.
I think that if Autie is here, there might be a reason for it.
Well, all right. Well, let's go talk to him. He usually has something weird to say about everything.
Yeah, well, weird is good in this circumstance. Everything we've seen has been off the wall weird.
Yep.
At least Auntie's not going to hurl any 50-ton conglomerations of office equipment at our heads.
I hope so.
Small mercies.
Jane starts moving towards the adjacent corridor where the humming's coming from.
Jamie
But
grabs
like
her,
still has her gun in front of her.
Jamie grabs her sleeve and just says, "Be careful.
Oh yeah.
I don't like this."
Everybody. Keep guns out, everybody.
And as you are approaching this corridor, you see there is a television flickering and a maintenance cart. As Autie, you see him apparently listening to some sort of kind of heavy metal music that you can barely make out through the headphones, as he is again wiping the floor of the maintenance corridor that leads to the Black Rock Quarry. And again,
Autie.
Hmm?
Autie.
Yes.
Did you hear any of what's been going on? You okay?
I'm more than okay. About to take a vacation.
Oh, well, that sounds lovely.
My assistant has arrived. She's gonna be a good one.
Does she happen to be a redhead that can float?
Oh, you have met my assistant.
Yeah. We're trying to help her. I guess we've been told to try to help her or something.
There are many means, said Granny when she was wiping the table with the cat.
Jane kind of unconsciously looks at Jamie. Like, okay, we have surpassed Jane's understanding. Jamie, this one's on you. There's this like visual handoff that happens between the siblings.
There's a tragically canceled show called Teenage Bounty Hunters, which did a great twins communicating. It sounds so dumb, but it punched so far up. Anyways, and where the twins communicating, I imagine there's like these full-fledged 30-second long conversations squished into like a half second visual, like eye glance and an eyebrow wiggle.
Yeah.
And Jamie just goes, Jamie kind of very reluctantly approaches and just goes, you sure you want to stick around?
as long as I need to get on vacation. As they say, what comes singing leaves whistling.
I mean, all the monsters throwing shit around and the people being possessed doesn't bother you?
I just take care of the house where possible. My assistant, she clean up the mess.
Where are you going on vacation, Auntie?
Oh, far away. Nice place in the sun. And he looks at you and all of you and says, Ate lue lakia. And he points to the passage that points directly per the signage to the Black Rock Quarry. I already have assistant, but maybe you need new intern. And where he is pointing is where the glow of the television is coming from.
Jamie just starts walking towards that with the rifle in hand.
Jamie, what are you doing?
I got a feeling.
And
More feelings.
I don't.
Here we go.
If you're sure, I don't like this.
And Ati looks at you, I think, Dr. Bancroft, as you make up the rear, and says, "In need, you know a friend." And continues cleaning and mopping the floor.
Well, probably better to have Auntie on our side than on their side. So we'll take that as a win.
Okay.
Think Ati's on our side?
Insofar as there are sides, I think I won't go into the nature and metaphysical inquiry about good and evil, but I'll say it's a spectrum. And when you have two extremes, it helps to have some people in the middle plead your case, as it were.
Are you walking and talking as you say this?
Yeah.
When you turn to look, Ati is no longer there.
I think Jane will stop and turn over to Katz and say, "Listen, floating lady saved our bacon, and he likes floating lady, so I think we're all on the same side here."
Sure. Whatever. Well,
Alrighty.
let's see whatever this next thing is.
And as you approach the glowing television, the glow, like the television, like glow from the corridor behind you, beyond you, you begin making your way, and very suddenly, where before there was a mingling pattern of black and white static cast down the corridor, you hear that sudden awful of the static, and then suddenly changes. Hello? Hello? Is anybody out there? They're here. They're here.
Oh.
Amelia?
Uh-huh.
Remember what you told me. Sing the song that they don't sing.
I'm singing. My mommy and my daddy are also singing, and we're singing so much, but we're starting to get tired. And they're here, and they're in all of the rooms, but we're still safe in the attic, and I don't know how long before they find us.
We're coming, Amelia. Just hold on. We're coming for you. We won't let them get you.
The lady, I think she says her name's Polaris. She says the same thing you do, but time is important. And as she says that, the image of that porcelain doll looking out at you, the picture begins a wash dissolve of that deep dark red, almost like a lava lamp, as it begins to kind of like make these kind of abstract non-Euclidean shapes, and it begins to pour, as it were, down the image of the television screen. And it is at that point that we are going to end tonight's session. So, guys, thanks so much for joining us for this Fright of Fandom. We're going to call it a night tonight, and we are going to come back next week for the stunning conclusion, as it were, of this control flight, the Dollhouse. So guys, thanks so much for joining us again. And we're going to just quickly do shout outs and plugs. Let me double check, make sure everybody's got time. But yeah, I was going to say, David, if you want to start us off.
Yeah, real quick. Once again, I'm David. Thanks for joining us. If you want to find out more about what I do, you can check out my games over at dbb-8.itch.io, where you can download some role-playing games that I've designed, including some that we've played on Flights of Fandom. And you can also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at dbrunelbrutman. And with that, I will see you next week.
Excellent. Marissa, any shout outs or plugs this week?
Yeah, I have been Marissa, also known in various places as Critical Kitten, on Instagram, on Twitch, on Discord, here and there, on the various places of the internet. Yeah, if you've had a good time with the surreality of this control flight, I would encourage you to check out The Hole in the World, our Invisible Sun actual play, which Zach also GMs and Hopper is also a part of. It's our lovely, dramatic, amazing show that is always surprising and always has cool twists and turns. So check us out at 4:30 EST this Sunday, and see what our Vizsla get up to next on their way to the Silver Sun. Second shout out, Fight with Spirit, the Kickstarter that Storybrewers Roleplaying has been running, not only funded, but they have unlocked the stretch goal for individual sports. So now that means they'll make the game compatible with one-on-one sports like fencing, which apparently has been very requested, chess, boxing, swimming, and very much more. So keep your eyes on the other stretch goals. There's some other cool stuff in the pipes that I hope we can unlock, but otherwise keep your eye out for Fight with Spirit coming soon to be made near you.
Excellent. Hopper, shout outs and plugs.
What's up? I am, have been, and presumably will continue to be Hopper. You can find me on and around the interwebs if you like bad things at Fail Deadly. That is Fail Deadly with a 3 instead of an E, so it looks like Fail Badly. Occasionally, I also put out not terrible things and voice things that aren't just bad hot takes on the Legend Tree on most platforms as well. My shout out is going to be for another frequent member of the Flights of Fandom show and a dear friend of ours, Jeff Stormer. And you should check out many of the works he does, including the Party of One podcast, which is where every week he and another person take on a one-on-one role-playing game and bring it to your ears with I don't know if dulcet tones fits, Jeff, but lugubrious tones.
Love that.
That's a word, I think. And you should check him out. He's amazing. He's won a bunch of awards and shit now because he's fucking dope and people can recognize that.
Awesome. Puja, shout outs and plugs.
Hey everybody, I'm Puja. You can find me on Twitter at Puja and at Pujabrocki on Instagram and in the Twitch chat. And as for my streaming schedule, when I'm not here on Tuesday evenings, you can find me over on Thursdays on Wandering DM's channel playing Sentinels of the Multiverse, a Sentinels RPG game. Well, RPG, I guess, where we create new comic book issues every week, and there's a lot of fun opportunities for audience participation and live. You can then and there affect the outcome of what's going on screen. So it's a lot of fun. On Saturday, you can find me over on Total Party Kiss at 12 Eastern, where we are playing the second episode of a brand new spooky D&D. Well, it's not even spooky. It's straight up horror D&D campaign. It's an all queer cast. It's a lot of fun. And the DM has put so much meticulous amount of detail into this homebrew. It's honestly like everything I learned about it. It's just more and more exciting. And then of course on Sunday, you can find me over on Praxagora Thesmophoria's channel playing Romance of the Blue Rose game. And I think we're getting to very close to the end of season 2. And, you know, this season we formed a polycule, so who knows what else we're going to get up to. And then I'll of course be back here next Tuesday. As for shout outs, I would like to give a shout out to my friend who is also on the Blue Rose game with me, Trooper over at Academic Foxhole, who puts on incredible content himself, but also is a absolute wealth of entertainment history, queer history, music history, theater. The academic part in his handle is truly something to behold. Like I just love when he educates us on Twitter with these fascinating topics. But anyway, go give him some love. He's great.
Love that. Guys, I'm actually gonna cut my plugs and shout outs a little short this week just because we're running over. Suffice to say, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please come check out our YouTube, come check out our Discord, come join us for stuff like Happy Hour, which we're going to have. I'm not sure if we're going to have a session tomorrow night, but in the future, take a look. There's always an opportunity to join and participate. So come game with us, and we will see you guys next week. So until then, take it easy.
And big edu.